Good morning. This is teaching of the day number 159. And today I want to ask the question of how can you be more effective in your good doing or doing good doing. I think that's how you say it. Um, this comes from me having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we talked about a little bit about my mission statement, which is I wanna have as much of a positive impact as on as many people as possible. And there are a lot of variables in there, and we've talked about that before. But what we talked about, I think it was last Friday, was that when one wants to have a positive impact on people, um, there can be some I don't want to say misunderstandings, but miscalculations of how that is done. He brought up an example of a couple of classmates who, in their high school years, wanted to do something good for I think he said Ghana, uh, and so they wanted to build a school, and they raised a lot of money, and they went down there, built the school by themselves, and then flew back. And of course, that was a positive impact on those people. And it's always good to build a school. Um, but what one can have some put some critique on in that whole project is that, I mean, just the flight tickets down to Ghana for those, I think there were 8 people. Um, just that money could have been put into building the school itself, and that money could have employed people in Ghana who might not have an employment or who might need um, that money for a salary or for a teacher, um, as well as them not being very good at house building, especially not in an environment that they're not used to, which made the whole thing a bit stranger to me. But I think the whole thought, the intention is very good and it's very pure. They want to do something good, but I think the how of it, the tactics might need to be. Or I mean, they probably learned a lot and they probably benefited from it. But I'm thinking of merely the results of building a school could have been done much more effectively. And we talked a little bit about how, for once, how that could be done more effectively. Not just that specific project, but in general, and as well some organizations that actually um, analyze how charity organizations use their money and how effective my money that I put into the charity organization is used. And and I've talked a little bit about that before, and I think the whole initiative of um, putting charity organizations up to a test and seeing how the money is used and how effectively it's used is a great thing. On the other hand, there is a backside of that, and that is a TED talk that I brought up before. That when when um, when that kind of organization who analyzes the benefit from the charity organization, um, when that is done, it is perceived as the more of a dollar that goes to the um, the cause of the charity organization, the better. But it might also be that a charity organization could be managed in a different way, putting more money into the, so to say, organizing part of it, putting more money on salaries and management and advertising, and that money is then converted into more money for the organization itself. For example, the TED Talk that I brought up, they there was a charity organization in, I think it was in New York, and they were, I don't know what cause they were fighting, but they wanted to go out at the whole charity organization system a bit differently. So they hired a lot of managers who were doing incredible in the private sector, and so gave them the same salary, or matching market salaries for doing the same kind of work that they were doing in their old organizations. Um, and they brought in people that were as good as salespeople that were as good as in the private sector, and the whole organization brought in more money and had a lot more in turnover than other charity organizations, and so could donate more money to the actual cause and raise more money to the actual cause. But the whole managing part of it costs a lot more, so there was a lot less on the dollar that went to the actual cause, but the net effect was bigger. And I just think that there needs to be some thought about how what effective really is, especially in charity situations, but also in your personal life, and how you can pursue, or what part of effective you want to reach. So how can you think differently about effectiveness, and what is effective in the context that you're in?